It obviously is. President Trump just issued a statement from his office about an hour ago. He said a mass incursion into the country by people who should not be here is happening on an hourly basis, getting worse by the minute. Many have criminal records. Many others have and are spreading COVID. And the latest statistics are 321 average unaccompanied minors. You know, many of them are not little grade school kids reading Dr. Seuss. They're teenagers. 321 a day are arriving now in the border areas along the Rio Grande. And in the first week of January, when President Trump was still in office and his border policies were in effect, the number was 47 per week. 47, so from 47 per week to more than 2,000 per week, and they're saying too that you know, we're going to make these like Ellis Island detention centers. Well, you know, the thing about Ellis Island was they were trying to stop the spread of infectious diseases into the United States. Apparently, there's none of this going on, and that's what President Trump was talking about in his release. They test the illegal aliens for COVID, but if they test positive, they just send them on their way. They put them right on the bus. And by way of comparison, I mean, look at the way American citizens are treated. The governor of the state where I live in most of the year, Massachusetts, is down in Florida this weekend. When he returns to Massachusetts to work in Massachusetts, he has to either produce a COVID test from the last 72 hours saying he's negative, or he has to quarantine for 10 days before he can go back to work. That's the governor of Massachusetts and everybody else. Now, you can argue those are absurd regulations given the situation now with COVID, but still, American citizens are governed by certain rules that are being totally waived for these illegal aliens that are crossing the border. It's insane.
Yeah, and we had a sheriff from down near the border, and we were asking him to verify the things that are going on. And that includes, when we talk about processing these folks that are coming across the border, you could even say that that's being done legally. But what they're doing is they're saying, you come back and show up at a certain date regarding your entrance into the United States. And according to him, didn't he give 80% won't show? So the people you're releasing,
more than that.
Yes. Well, even 80%, that's thousands, as you know, tens of thousands, actually. So I mean, that's what's going on right now.
As you look back, Bob, I think the border control policies of Donald Trump was one of his greatest achievements as president. They had this program called Remain in Mexico, and that meant that if you wanted to seek asylum, which means you go automatically on welfare for 5 years, you had to stay in Mexico to make your claims. So you couldn't just be brought into the United States and then just disappear into the interior, have an anchor baby, which would be an American citizen, and make you eligible for all welfare programs. And the other thing that they ended Remain in Mexico. That's gone. They also ended the program where they were basically paying Central American countries to prevent the formation of these caravans. And they were also saying, you know, if you really do feel like you're going to be politically persecuted if you remain in whatever hellhole you live in, you just will move to the next country. That's international law. You don't get a chance to, you know, pick what country has the most generous welfare system to immigrate to. You go to the next country. And so that was the deal that Trump insisted be observed, international law. And again, that's been totally abrogated under Biden, and that's why we have this crisis on the southern border.
Yeah, can we just show this video quickly? We're almost out of time, but Howie, I did want to mention this protest that happened at Tijuana, Baja California, the border there in that area. You know, American citizens weren't the only ones hearing about the lax immigration policies coming from the Biden administration. The folks wanting to come here heard it too. So they have these Biden T-shirts, and they're demanding
who's paying for those?
Demanding that he keep up his end of the bargain and let them in.
Yeah, I raised the question, where did they get these professionally done T-shirts, hundreds, thousands of them? That cost a lot of money. I thought these people were totally indigent. I see them with cell phones, too. And incidentally, my understanding is that down in Tijuana, they're not too crazy about all these, many of them criminals arriving from Central America on a daily basis. The Mexicans are not happy with the situation. They were glad that Trump's policies were working, and now they've been totally thrown out the window so that the Democrats can import a dependent underclass.